And we're back here. This is the teams over 30 age division, the male division here, and this is round one. Between our first team out is Sean Jung, Long Wen, and Alexandre Tuo. As you see them competing, we'll give you a little bit of information about these athletes. Sean Jung is 31 years of age from US Taekwondo Center in Aurora, Colorado. His coach is Grandmaster Koo Soo Jung. He attended CU Denver and graduated with a degree in economics. Long Wen is from Team M, coached by Hui Wen and An Wen. He's 30 years of age, graduated from San Jose State University with a degree in Management and Information Systems. His hometown is Saigon, Vietnam. He graduated in 2011. He's a member of the Wen family. It seems like there's 30 of them. Last but not least, Alexandre Tuo is 32 years of age from Irvine, California. UCI, it looks like, is his school. And he has a film and media studies degree. These guys have all kinds of accomplishments. We'll get to them. Let's make sure Coach Chuang's in there. Chuang, Coach, you saw the first round there by these athletes, and these guys are solid athletes that look like they've been doing this for a long time.
Oh, yeah. The experience level out here is off the charts, so this is really exciting. I think, as you mentioned, the Win brothers are the coaches of M Team, and they're able to put forth two Senior 2 31-plus teams.
Next up, Nguyen, and Wong.
That last team was, Long Wen, one of the M Team coaches, his first year in Senior 2. So that's also exciting to see. They put together a younger team and a slightly less young team here, but also outstanding. This is a world silver medalist team right here from the past. I had the pleasure of working with them for that World Championships, where they earned at least a couple of these numbers where they earned a silver medal.
Yeah, so you know them well. They're a big part of USA Taekwondo Poomsae. They really are.
Absolutely.
They're a big part of it. And An Wen is 38 years of age from Team M Taekwondo. He graduated in 2005 from San Jose University with a computer science degree. Hui Wen is from Team M Taekwondo as well. He also looks like he graduated from San Jose University. Actually, his says Santa Clara University, so I beg your pardon, with a degree in marketing. And last but not least is Justin Wong. He's out competing right now. He's 38 years of age from Just TKD School from LA, California. Yeah, he owns his own Taekwondo studio. That's pretty impressive.
That's right. He's a full-time instructor. And these three gentlemen, you can just see caliber is really strong, particularly their execution of their hand techniques is really outstanding. And kicking caliber is unusually good for Senior 2. And, Senior 2, when I say Senior 2, I'm sorry, I mean 31-plus male team and female team have been some of the strongest divisions for the U.S. in the world. We've medaled, I think, at all of the recent World Championships in these divisions that I can remember.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've seen We Win coach a ton, and we've spent some time together, even on live stream, talking a little bit. To see him out here competing, to me, it's pretty fun, pretty exciting to see some of these coaches out there doing their thing. And you said it right. At 38 years of age, and 34 years of age, these guys are kind of what you would, in the top of the category, if you will.
Right. They're really, really doing well. And Coach Hui Wen, of course, a world champion from 2014, and for the 18 to 30 male team with Albert and Alvin John. And so this was actually the 2018 team in Taipei, or at least I believe so. I believe that's all the members. And they were world bronze medalists. So there's no slouch of a team up for contention too. So you're going to see a slightly different style from them, a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more clean.
Next up, Ha, Kim, and Wen.
But perhaps not as dynamic by comparison.
So we have Jin Hyuk Kim from JK United Taekwondo. He's 38 years of age. Kwa Jin Ha, he is from World Champion Taekwondo Fairfield. He's 39 years of age. And Johnny Wen, who's 33 years of age from NB Taekwondo. I like some of these guys. They give us a little bit of things here and there, and these guys all have, it looks like Kwon Jin Ha has a degree from the University of Connecticut in Business and Tech. Johnny Wen, Arizona State University in kinesiology. So I love to see these guys. They're just doing everything they can. And then some of their hobbies are pretty interesting as you see the form. Johnny Wen, one of his hobbies is eating Chipotle.
Johnny, of course, is an elite taekwondo fighter.
Yes.
U.S. Open champion, multiple-time collegiate team member in both Poomsae and sparring. And so it's great to see him. I believe he's an MMA fighter now. So he's really across the board. He's keeping with his traditional roots, even as he's a very modern fighter as well.
Yeah, this is what you would definitely call a well-rounded martial artist in Johnny Nguyen. I mean, he's coached him on a collegiate team as he was on a collegiate national team, and now made Poomsae national teams, and like you said, doing some MMA. Just understands how to do martial arts at a very high level.
And it's great to speaks to the commonality of even the Poomsae, to these other aspects of the martial arts. There's a lot of commonality in movement, strength, and dynamic movement. But yeah, that was a very clean performance. I think one thing you'll see with this team in particular is that their form is very clean. You don't see a lot of shoulder movement, a lot of rise and fall there. Like, they're very, very clean from move to move. So often when you see 3 world-class teams like that, it really comes down to judging preference and the coach's ability to adjust to the judging preference as the competition goes on.
Yeah, as we're waiting for the next one, talk a little bit more about that, because that's interesting. When you talk about judging preference, some judges just prefer a different style of maybe the form than others of the Poomsae.
Yeah, I mean, it's you never want to dive too deeply into the mind of referees because you don't necessarily know what they're thinking. But absolutely, you'll see, in different countries, there's a perception, at least, that there is an Asian style of Poomsae which tends to be more relaxed and less impactful. Less emphasis on impact is a different way to say it. And European style tends to be a little bit more strong and throughout the movement. And American style, we're kind of all over the place, depending on where our roots are and where our training was done. And one of the great things about Poomsae is there is that room for interpretation, and the referees have to interpret the presentation on their own terms, whether that's how they interpret strength and speed and how they interpret
First
rhythm
up
and
for
tempo.
the women's over 30 team,
And so they're bringing their own
Finkelstein, Lee,
training.
and
And they're bringing their own training and personal experiences to the table too. So, as competitors, we always wish the judges see it our way, but we also have to meet the referees where they are too.
So this is the female over 30 division. So now you're talking about, we talked about age differences. Let's talk about these women for just a moment. Katherine Finkelstein is from Lee's Taekwondo from South Lake, Texas. She's 43 years of age. Where Sunjin Lee is from S.J. Lee Taekwondo from Allen, Texas. She's 40 years of age. And then Cindy is from USCR Taekwondo, and she is from Louisville, Texas. So she's 51 years of age. So definitely a little more, when you talk about experience, these women are going to have some experience.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I will say this, that the 41 to 50 female division is one of the most brutal divisions we have in Poomsae right now. And these women, all of them are world-class athletes. And the fact that we can field 3 teams that are all this level is just tremendous. It really speaks to the strength of both our men and our women at this age bracket.
Well, that's exceptional right there.
Yeah.
Just great technique by those women.
Right. Perhaps their synchronization not quite as
A little
strong.
bit off, yeah. You could definitely see that. We have a good view of that. We have good camera angles. Of course, Steve gives us every angle we could possibly get, so we get to see it at the highest level here as far as angles. Maybe the judges don't get to quite see that.
Perhaps, yeah. And Pyongwon, like I said, is one of the most challenging forms that we have, in general. So to hit that with synchronization, with the older age divisions, it's a challenge.
Coach, you talk about teams, and it's just 30 and over for these teams, so...
Correct. So, yeah, there's no ceiling on this limit. There's no ceiling on these age divisions, so it is a challenge.
up next,
Elva
Adams,
just hit
Gonsalves, and Lee.
Elva Adams, our many-time world medalist here, she's in the 51 to 60 division for the first time this year, and she's still one of the strongest competitors in these team divisions for sure. So you're going to see a really strong division. Rosalind Lee just earned a world bronze medal in 31 to 40 in 2018. So and Rochelle Gonsalves also a perennial medalist, top 8 competitor at nationals. So this is also a really strong team. I don't really know who to choose on this one. We'll see.
It might come down to that synchronicity that you talked about. In the last one, they were a tiny bit off, but the techniques were fantastic. Boy,
Couple sync issues, but kicking caliber strong here among all the women.
Well, this is really close. I mean,
It
they're
is close.
very, very similar, very high, such a high-level technique. It's hard to tell from the first team here to this second team. And we have 3 teams here. So there are 3 men's teams competing out for a spot on our national team. There will be 3 women's teams competing for that same spot, for a spot for them as well.
And I will say this: any of these 6 teams would be worthy of representing the United States on the world stage. They're really performing really, really well right now.
Yeah,
so.
that's the kind of thing you want to hear. As a coach in your organization, you want to hear that whoever comes out on top is going to represent at the highest level. So it's good they're that close, like you talked about. This seems like, is it fair to say this is it the most competitive division or one of the most competitive divisions?
Next up,
I think so,
Do,
for sure.
Nguyen, and Kim.
And now we have the 3rd division. Tuo Win is a world champion in the 41 to 50 division. If you see her kicks, they look like 18 to 30-year-olds kicks. She can do a standing backflip even in this division. So I mean,
wow.
she's just a tremendous, tremendous athlete.
So we have Kathy Doe. She's 39 years of age. She's from Miami, Florida. Her coach is Bob Maves. So it's impressive. And she attended the University of Miami, where she has a degree in music education. Young Kim, it looks like it's Claire Kim. Young.
She goes by Claire.
Okay, so Claire Kim, we're going to call her Claire, is also coached by Bob Maves from Orange County, she says. And then last but not least, like you talked about, and I'm going to say it, is it Thaw Win? Tuo Win. Okay. She's also coached by Mom, but she's from Seattle, Washington. So these ladies are not from the same area, so they have to train probably maybe video-wise.
Correct. But Tuo and Kathy have been working together for many years, and Claire Kim is actually one of our national team members from very early in the Poomsae era, in the aughts. So there's a lot of experience out here. I think.
Oh, it was beautiful take. Wow.
Yeah, I think that was really a strong performance. If I had to hazard a guess, I would put this one at the top because I think their synchronization was the best. But again, we'll see judges' interpretation. We're not out there. We're not the ones that are 3 feet away from the competitors, so we can't see what they see. But that one looked pretty strong to me. So I don't know if they showed the men's scores from the first round.
I don't think we saw any scores to this point, so we're looking forward to seeing them.
Yeah.
For the first round for both. We're going to get to see both, and that'll be fun. And scores are up for the ladies. They've got to get the scores back up for us. Scores are up momentarily. We'll find out why they're not staying up there. We're going to need them to stay. We know you want to see them as well. Coach and I want to see them, so we want to see them as well. So
yeah, it did look like that 3rd team did place first.
Yeah, and it's exactly what you thought. Tell them to leave them. Yeah, we're trying to get them to leave the scores up for you at home so you can see them. We know you're not here in the arena. We appreciate you logging on. We want your questions. We want your comments, especially if you have questions for Coach Chuang. We definitely want those. So keep us in your thoughts when you're sending us questions and comments here at USA Taekwondo. This is the Poomsae Grand Slam Final, and we're going to give you live action from 3 days, from today, tomorrow, and of course Monday. So go ahead and take off work Monday and log on with us, as we're going to be having Poomsae competition here on Monday as well. You might be off because it's Martin Luther King Day, so you might get that off anyway. So if that's just going to give you more time to stay online with us here at USA Taekwondo at our National Center of Excellence and our Poomsae Grand Slam Final. So we think that they may have showed the men's scores and we didn't see it. They must have been up and down for seconds. We're efforting that to find out the men's scores to this point as well as the women's.
I see. So we have a tie basically between Justin Wong and brothers.
Well, I could just say you have a tie between the Win and the Win team, and that's not going to go very well.
Right, and that other team. So we have really a contrast between two styles, that clean style and a little more powerful dynamic style. It looks like they're both performing well, so it's going to come down to execution.
Absolutely. So we're going to take quick time out as they're going to shuffle the order. That's what happens here. So we're shuffling the order for the second round, and we'll come back here live at the Poomsae Grand Slam Final presented by USA Taekwondo.
First up in round 2, Ha Kim Wen.
So as the order is changed now, you're going to have Kwajin Ha, Johnny Nguyen, and Jin Hyuk Kim.
This is Shipjin. Again, we talked about this earlier. It's one of the safer forms. This is going to come down to sync and rhythm. Kwang Jin Ha goes by KJ, Master KJ. He was the quarterfinalist 2018 World Poomsae Championships for individual.
And if you're looking on the screen, can you tell us which athlete that is?
It's the center athlete.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, of course, this team also earned a bronze medal at World Poomsae Championships as a 31-plus team. So very, very strong.
And that was in 2018.
2018, correct.
Yeah, so they're the current team member, if you will, for the World Championships.
For World Championships, that's correct.
Gotcha.
Formation is just a little compromised, but I think they have time to make it up. Very good to finish on the mark. Nothing major there. Their sync perhaps not razor sharp as it was the first time, but I still think very, very high caliber movement. Again, that style, very, very clean shoulders. Not a lot of extra movement on theirs, but still able to deliver a lot of power. Here we have, Alex Tuo, who recently won U.S. Open as a 831-40 male individual in a really competitive international field. Long win. It's the first year and second senior. He's going to be formidable for sure. Really strong
Next
competitor,
up,
collegiate team member.
John Nguyen and Tuo.
And Sean's actually local to this area. He's a first-time collaborator with these athletes. He has a instructor in the Denver area, U.S. Taekwondo Center.
Yeah, it's interesting. You talked about Long Win. He's only 30 years of age, so this is the first time competing here at this. So definitely he's going to have the youth on his side as far as maybe being possibly more flexible, more athletic. I say possibly because these guys are just world class.
Correct. It's funny. I think this group of competitors are just such tremendous athletes. Normally I would say that's true. The youth would be a advantage, but I actually don't feel that with these 9 competitors. They're all really good. So it's
great snap there. God, this just looks beautiful technique by these guys.
And Sean's really come a long way. Sean Jung, he a year ago was perhaps still coming up to speed on his Poomsae. And what I see here is just a tremendous improvement in his abilities. So he's doing a good job matching these gentlemen, these other 2 much more experienced gentlemen.
So if he is from Aurora, Colorado, Coach, how is he training with these guys that live, full time in California?
Right. So I know that they they probably get together to train, and they can do video work, but I haven't talked to them specifically about what they do this time. But it's not uncommon, especially at the Senior 2 level, for people to collaborate across the country because there are fewer competitors. So I don't see them as being at a particular disadvantage in that regard. And certainly Long and Alex have worked together for many years. Both are world freestyle medalists. Long also a many-time collegiate member and collegiate national team coach too.
Yeah, so excellent. Another excellent form by this team. This is just going to come down to all 4 rounds. Like I can see what you're saying now. This is just going to be close.
Yeah.
And obviously, Poomsae can be what people would consider subjective at times. So it could come down to the styles that you talked about earlier. And these guys,
Right.
They had a strong form, excellent performance there by this team.
Right. Yeah, that subjectivity, I think with any performance-based sport like this, it's something that we have to accept as much as we don't like it. And as coaches, we're always going to complain, but to keep our art the way it is, we do have to accept that subjectivity. So
Yeah, absolutely.
And we all work together to improve
Up next,
the level of understanding.
Len and Wong.
Well, the athletes now have entered, the third team has entered the arena here for their second round. And with Wee Win, Justin Wong, and On Win, it's another team from Team M Taekwondo, and they just seem to, interesting enough, as these guys are coming out in that junior division, that earlier division that they had for freestyle, every single athlete was either from them or from their CPP program. And so that's pretty impressive. They're out there trying to grow the sport of freestyle Taekwondo here in the United States.
Correct. And obviously they're strong on both sides of the coin. So you'll see that like A to B speed here of this group, I think, is really unmatched in this division. And I think the trick will be for them to compete on the cleanliness and sync and that stability that the other team has. I do see that they have adjusted their style perhaps just a little bit this next round. So these are some of the smartest coaches in the business here, really capable of making those adjustments. We'll see if they're rewarded by the judges or not for those adjustments.
Oh, their synchronicity has been just outstanding to this point.
Right. And so that's, I think, their strength also, a little better synchronization.
Well, excellent form by this team. This
That
is
was
just
really strong.
that's formidable right there.
Very, very strong. Yeah.
And again, knowing the Poomsae, not really knowing exactly what they're looking for, but me knowing the Poomsae, this is going to be tough. But I felt like those guys took round number 2. I really do. I feel that way.
Again, yeah, I do think their synchronization was better than the other team, but again, it just comes down to that presentation factor, And at this level, the judges are not looking so much for the accuracy, but here we see, nope, they gave it to the other team by a pretty big margin, actually.
Yeah, they did.
That's a little surprising for me that it was that big a gap on this one.
So we're ready for the females. Their round 2's coming up next.
That's a .24 gap on that. So that must mean that the judges really saw something that that didn't sit well with them. I really don't know that I see necessarily what they saw.
Right. So waiting for the women. They'll be coming out here momentarily. It'll be their second round. This is the over 30 team competition. And this is first spot at the World Championships in Herning, Denmark for Team USA. So we're going to take a timeout, come back on the other side with round 2 of the females over 30 team competition here at the Poomsae Grand Slam Final presented by USA Taekwondo.
First up in round 2 for the women, Do, Nguyen, and Kim.
So doing a lower form here, Coach, and Taeguk number 8.
That's right. That's right. So Taeguk 8 is... You have those double front kicks, the jump.
So technically that's a double front kick. That's not just a jumping front kick with the right leg. That's a left-right combo,
That's
correct?
correct. The first one has to be at your waist or higher. The second one to the head. Yeah, really nice caliber movement. Very crisp, very strong, very clean. I think you know, Tuo again with her experience in the center here, really showing a really excellent caliber.
Yeah, 49 years of age, been doing this for. She looks like she's about 18 to me, looking out there. She just really, you know, just young looking, and then you watch the technique, and you look like she could compete in those divisions. Just so technically superior here, kind of leading this team, if you will.
No, yeah, nothing major there. I think they're going to hold on to their lead, barring any jumps in performance by the other team. Taeguk Paljong, Taeguk 8, color belt form, like you said. Some of the challenge points on this form are certainly those jumping double front kicks, making those look good and effortless and landing cleanly on them without loss of balance. Hitting your mark is sometimes challenging on this form because it's one of those forms you kind of have to cheat a little bit to get back to your mark, and you have to cheat in a way that doesn't look like another error to the referees. And then, of course, throwing that front kick out of the Poomsae, out of the cat stance, tiger stance, off the front leg, that's also a flexibility challenge. So some challenge points, but overall not one of the...
Next up, Adams, Gonsalves, and Lee.
Not one of the most scary forms, like I had mentioned before. It's one that generally competitors feel pretty good about.
Well, and I've watched enough and been part of this now enough to know that some of these team members were team members with each other, and now they have different teams. If I'm not mistaken, Miss Nguyen and Miss Adams were on a team together at one time. Is that not correct?
That is correct. You know, and it's not unusual for people to switch, to mix things up a little bit, particularly just as circumstances change, people move to different areas, or maybe they just feel it's time to move on to a new collaboration.
Right. Elva Adams kind of leading this team, if you will, and an Olympic referee, so just has a lot of experience in all different parts of the high level of the Taekwondo here, and not just the United States, but in the world.
Sure, former world sparring champion.
Yeah, she's a
former Olympian and Olympic medalist as well. So.
Yeah, she won an Olympic medal for Chinese Taipei, correct?
That's right. That's right.
And now has been a USA Olympic referee, and then now a Poomsae world champions medalist, so world championship medalist. Just
right.
Just when we talked about earlier with Johnny Nguyen being a well-rounded martial artist, Elva Adams clearly is in that category as well.
Right, right. And I think that I've always been a proponent of this, that the training methods needed to be excellent at Poomsae are not far at all from what we do in sparring, particularly with the new front leg game. And you know, if you watch some of the training methods that even I see like Paul and Gareth using, they look a lot like the Poomsae training that we do sometimes. So I think you know, these athletes, you know, when you see those sparring athletes go back and forth between sparring and Poomsae, for sure, you know, great athletes are great athletes, and they understand how to train.
Next up for the women, Finkelstein, Lee, and
Again, this team from the North Texas area, Allen, Texas might be, I don't know if that'd be considered North Texas, as I know the Texas area, but Louisville and South Lake, two great areas of the Dallas suburbs, and then, of course, Allen, Texas. The ladies don't know a lot about these ladies, as I haven't seen them as much as I've seen the other teams, but they've been formidable to this point as well.
For sure. Katherine Finkelstein was on this year's national Poomsae team with a couple different teammates, actually, that in 2019 competed at President's Cup. Looked really strong there. And both of these other competitors also very high caliber.
Yeah, Sung Jin Lee and Cindy
I mean, just looking at the caliber of kicking, the strength of their movement, strength in their core to maintain that stillness. I mean, this is really good stuff.
Yeah, the synchronization, as you talked about earlier, just dead on here, pretty dead on at least. Yeah, these are solid competitors. Any of these three teams could win this competition.
Coaching them in back is Poomsae Young, former world silver medalist from 2016.
Yeah, tight-knit community. You guys know each other well and spend a lot of time together with each other, as you know, whether it be coaches, whether it be athletes, you just know each other. It's just a really tight-knit community, almost even more so than the sparring community, just simply because, I mean, they just root for each other. There's a lot of camaraderie between these kids in the back and these older athletes in the back, adult athletes in the back. I see it. So is this a surprise to you?
This is a little surprise to me that the first place team was overtaken in the second. I would have still kept them in first, but yeah, I think the scores are close. I think the other team still has a strong advantage. 0.4 still going to be the team to beat the next 2 rounds.
Wow, look at that. The tie for second and third right now. They're tied for second, and it's just very tight.
Yep, and I mentioned that first place ranking as well. The placement ranking may come into play here, and there may be a challenge match at the end, which is one of the most exciting things about this format. So keep an eye on this one for sure. All three teams very strong. So Taebaek, we have another side kick form coming up. See what adjustments this team makes this round. Whatever they tried last time didn't seem to
First
agree with the
up in
referees.
round 3 for the men, Lun, and Wong.
We'll see if they change things up, change their style. And it's a really nice sink. Very nice sink on that side kick sequence. Yeah, really nice core turn into that elbow strike.
Yeah, experience really showed there. Those guys are really on it. So if they had to make some adjustments, it looks like they have. They come out firing here in round number 3.
Next up, Zhang, Nguyen, and Tuo.
Yeah, it's interesting as we come out here. Long Nguyen, we talked about him being one of the younger ones at 30 years of age. He works at Apple as a senior technical program manager. It's got to be a fascinating job.
Right, yeah, those guys embedded in the San Jose area, right in the heart of Silicon Valley. So I know that they're a lot of technology-related jobs among some of their team members.
Yeah, well done. A good, very much in sync as you talked about. These guys were absolutely that.
Yeah, I think for sure. I think they're doing a good job of accommodating each other's strengths. They're choosing kicking heights that can match across all three of them. Again, like you said, this partnership is a little younger, so maybe their synchronization not quite as tight as the other two groups, but still very strong. So we're going to see what this leading group comes back with. Again, if I had to choose a difference between this team
Next
and
up, Ha, Kim, and Nguyen.
the other team, although I personally didn't find the difference to be a 0.24 difference, but they're choosing a calmer style where they're not driving the power quite as much. It's a little less muscular style, a little bit more relaxed style with very, very strong core stability, relaxed shoulders. So really a matter of preference, but this should be close all the way through. We'll see. KJ's footwork always very clean in the middle there. Some little sync issues there.
Yeah, mine would be a little bit off there. Just slightly. Just
But if you watch their heads are very stable for their techniques. Not a lot of movement there. So although it may not look as powerful, some judges really appreciate that type of more clean power. So international level, you'll see different things at different tournaments. But here it appears that this style is being rewarded a little more.
So that's the end of round 3 for the males. So hopefully we can see some scores here as we end this round.
But I don't see anticipate any changes, to be honest. I think the level of the performances were very similar between this round and the last round. So, barring anything, oh, interesting. That is not what I expected.
That's a big change.
Oh,
so this round was won by, we'll just say, Alexandre Tuo's team.
yeah, wow. Okay, so it's a fight between all three of them now. So we'll see.
This is just neck and neck.
Oh,
Look how
man.
close this is.
Yeah, we have 0.1 and 0.2 for between first, second, third. So, and then of course that first place standing will also come into play too. So anything could happen here going into the final round. That one also defied my expectations a little bit.
Yeah, it's interesting. So we're into the third round now of the females.
Not sure I see where the referees are going here, but again, I'm not as close to the competitors as they are, so they could be seeing different things than I do.
Yeah, you also have some views they don't have, just so you know. I mean, they're sitting in that one place looking at the one
Absolutely.
thing,
Yep.
where we're both getting massive, advantages of a camera angle here, right on top of them.
Sure.
Getting the camera, which
First
is
team out in round 3
focused
of the
down on
women's
them.
division,
So we're actually
Alex
getting maybe
Gonzalez
better
and
views at
Lee.
times than the referees are.
Right, and certainly the back view, they're going to see different deductions than we do, and the
Correct.
front view, and so it's important to remember as competitors we can't get frustrated with not always understanding what the referees see, but we just have to always work to improve.
So both of these competitions, both the male and female 30-plus teams, are just so close right now.
It's good caliber movement. I will say that I think some of the side kicks look a little looser than what I'm used to seeing from some of the players, and their sink a couple of small things here and there. But overall, I would say that was very good. Again, a lot of these competitors, as you mentioned, not training together week in, week out, so they often have, a day or a few hours to really pull it together.
Next team, Finkelstein, Lee, and
I think one of the toughest things as competitors is to stay positive, even when you may not be leading in the standings, but to stay positive and give yourself an opportunity to keep that door open. Psychology is very important. And the coach's job often is to really shape the competitor's narrative of what they're experiencing through the day, as much as anything technical.
We're going to put you on the spot on this round, Coach. We're going to have you tell us who you think is going to win this round based on all three of the team performances. So this is Team 2. They all look so similar to me. They're all such high level. But I feel as if the last team's a little better.
Yep. I saw one stumble there, so that's going to be deduction after landing on that left leg side kick. On that right leg side kick, I believe. Yeah, so they had left the door open a little bit there on that one mistake. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't need much commentary, to be honest. I think that they're really showing very consistent technique. No one's, people are showing their preparation on the mat. But like I said, when things are this close, often a lot of it comes down to maintaining that competitive intensity, right? If you lay off the pedal a little bit, the judges sense it, and you have to continue to provide that intensity and that confident energy to the referees when the margins are this tight.
Do, Wan, and Kim.
Sometimes we're our own worst enemies as far as overthinking things.
Get some interesting things what they do outside of Taekwondo. One of this one is Kathy Do plays the violin, which I think is fascinating. And then
very, very high caliber violinist, from my understanding.
Yeah, Miss Wynn enjoys cats and dogs. So
cats and dogs,
not humans.
They're doing a great job of kind of adjusting to the style of the other two women who worked together a long time. I see that she's hardened her style a little bit, a little stronger finish. Definitely have clearly put some work together.
All right, Coach, before you give me your order, I'm going to give you mine.
Oh,
we'll
please.
See if I have remotely a clue what I'm doing here.
What you got?
I have this team first. I have Miss Adams' team second. And the team that just went is Finkelstein's team third. That's what I have this round.
This round, I agree.
You do?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's just a guess.
Just have more confidence in your
No, I'm
in your
still. You
opinions.
saw me. I was shocked. I'm like, what? So, no, we'll see the scores here, and that's round number 3 for the female plus 30 teams. We have one more round for the male and female, and of course, the winning team is going to earn their spot on our World Championships team to compete for Team USA in Herning, Denmark later this year. Late May is when that competition is. So did we get it right? I did.
We did. Good job.
Look at that.
Well done. I'm
I'm
done.
re-
My
I'm
work
ready.
is done. I'm ready to turn it all over to you.
I'm ready. I'm ready to not have any part of
Yeah.
this because I don't know what I'm doing. No, there's a lucky guess.
You don't need me.
So, it's good. So here we are. Yeah, this is very close as well. Just
Yeah. But they do have a pretty commanding lead at point 0.6 there.
so a 0.6 lead, coach, is pretty commanding in
Pretty
this sport,
commanding,
right?
yeah. Especially when you have 3 teams like that are not going to make big mistakes. So maybe at the lower levels, or maybe when you have a lot of a form like Kumgang, there's a chance. But
Right.
really, that's pretty.
And they extended that
convincing.
lead just a tad bit there as well in that third
They
round.
did. So this is going to be the contest, though. 0.1 difference. We saw the judges seem to have turned a corner on that last one, and so they can't just coast on this one. They've got to really continue to maintain their
First up
intensity.
in the final round for the men's team, Ha, Kim, and Wen.
You could argue that the momentum might be with the other team having overtaken on the other 2 teams having
Right.
overtaken it.
Right,
So
right,
you know,
right. Good point.
psychology, performance is everything, but these guys are experienced. I'm confident that they'll power up here and show
So,
their
coach,
best
this
stuff.
team going into the 4th round is in what place?
They're in first place,
Okay.
but by 0.1 only.
Yes, and that's what I thought.
So-
Really close here, but they're sitting in first place right now, so they can take this championship.
By 0.1 or 0.2, actually, I'm not sure.
Oh, so it's choreo to finish off.
Corey, a lot of side kicks.
Yes.
6 side kicks, yeah. So they did seem to, in my eyes, they're powering up a little bit from what they've done in the past. Solid.
Yeah, very clean to this point.
Yeah, again, some little sync issues. Depends on whether the referees perceive that to be above or below threshold, but caliber movement is very good.
So, coach, when you say above or below threshold, kind of explain that a little bit.
So referees have to decide whether to make a deduction anytime they see a loss in sync, and if they believe that it's just a very minor loss in sync that's not worth deducting over, they won't deduct for it.
Right.
Yeah. My guess is that those are all below threshold.
Well, if that's the case, these guys got a good chance of winning this championship here today.
Correct. They certainly are in a good position. They powered up. They gave a good performance, no mistakes. So it's a question if the other teams can continue to elevate and continue to get that buy-in on the style.
A lot of musicians here. There's a lot of their hobbies outside are playing guitar, playing drums.
You know, there's a lot of
playing
commonalities,
violin.
I think, for sure, between Poomsae and music.
Yeah, and that's
Next
exactly
up,
what I was thinking.
Wen,
Just the
Wen,
similarities are
Wong.
probably there.
Phrasing, musicality, rise and fall, making expressing the poetry of the movement.
So this is round 4, final round. This is the over 30 team competition for a spot on our World Championships team. This is the Poomsae Grand Slam final. We're glad you're joining us here on USA's Taekwondo live stream. We appreciate it. Of course, we want comments. We want your questions. Just give us a shout out as well.
Oh, that's a really nice left double side kick. That's the hardest one. Maybe just slight loss of sync on that one. this very experienced team with a lot of experience together.
Well done.
This one's going to be close.
Yes, it is. It might have been even a little better than the first team there that came out.
Yeah, I saw a couple of very minor balance issues, but again, I think it's below threshold, so it's going to come, if anything, maybe a little presentation there, but I also think the other team also had some minor sync issues, so this will really come down to judges' preference.
Right.
I really can't pick a winner here. And then this last team, Dark Horse, they just came out and took first in the last round, so who knows if they continue to surge.
Right. Can they do it again?
As you point out, that youthful...
Next up, Zhang, Yuan, and Tuo.
that youthful style. See if it can continue to elevate. Perhaps if they're kicking caliber, they bring that up. That's one area that often younger competitors can shine. That's nice. It's looking pretty strong right here, I have to say. You know, I just might put this one at the top of this.
Coach, I feel the same way. They may have just.
They may have just snuck into contention. So
yeah, absolutely. And interesting enough, the guys that were in first place, they did an excellent form, but I almost felt their form might have taken third in this round.
So this may come down to the tiebreaker I mentioned earlier. So you might have a situation where one team had the highest average score, and the other team had the the top score by placement. The most first places, and if that's tied second place, if that's tied third, and so on. So we'll have to see how the leaderboard comes up, and it may invoke a tiebreaker.
So here we go.
Oh no, actually, it appears that given these scores, it may come down to a tiebreaker.
Wow, because that team that just went is the one. Let's see. 0.5 for Ha, Kim, and Win.
Oh no, but they're leading on. Oh, I see. They're leading on both placement and average.
Wait,
So
was that just third round?
That was the last round.
Yeah.
So actually, the first place finishers are Ha, Kim, and Wen.
Yeah, that's the winners there.
Those are the winners because the other two split the first place standing. So those are your national team members.
Wow, that's impressive. Congratulations to those gentlemen.
Really close battle.
First up in the final round for the women, Finkelstein, Lee, and
We're back with the final round. This is the women's 30-plus team competition, the fourth and final round of competition.
And Kumgang always a wild card. Comes down to a lot of
little bit of
nerves.
balance issues.
That's a touch. That'll be a major. Major being a 0.3 deduction. But anything can happen here. Especially in these quiet environments, you're just alone with your thoughts.
Right.
It's easy for your brain to cycle a little bit too much. So just learning to sit in the groove, be confident in your training.
Tough form for the final.
Well, some of these wobbles will be minor deductions. Some issues there, but again, anything can happen with the other two teams. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
it was this team in third place was correct.
Correct.
So they were in third place and they had some, what you call
Issues.
one major and some minor deductions. It's going to be tough
Right.
unless these other teams really stumble for them to vault themselves into the first place.
Correct. It's an
spot.
uphill battle. Man, for that men's team, I'm still thinking about that one. That's one of those ones where you really wish you could do all 8 forms.
Yes.
We don't, given the format we have here, we don't really have time, and it's stressful with so many events. But yeah, you really wish that one could have gone 8 because it was just such a pleasure to watch that. Back and
So
forth.
close,
Yeah.
just so close.
Mm-hmm.
Really could have gone
Next up, Do, Nguyen, and Kim.
any way there. So this team is in first place right now. So can they hold on to the top spot? They have a pretty big lead. You talked about 0.5.
Yeah, these are 3 very experienced competitors. So I think experience counts for a lot on Kumgang. How you deal with that stress when you just tip a little bit. Can you calm your nerves? Can you slow your heart down? You sit a little lower in that stance.
Yeah, it's funny. I feel like I've been watching for such a long time. I know the players. I've interviewed the players, spent some time with these athletes, and Miss Win and Miss Doe. I was like, I don't know who Claire Kim is. She's only a 5-time national team member.
Right. From like I said, she was very foundational in the very early days. A little tip there, should be a minor, but I think in the early era she was one of the people who really had some of the best knowledge out there. In terms of having that correct international style, and so she took a break. She's a world champion in 2012. 12, yeah, and
She won it in pairs in Colombia. That's impressive.
right in second pairs with Jason Wong, another fighter, and Poomsae.
Yeah, very elite taekwondoist.
Solid. There was one small misstep there, but shouldn't be more than a minor. I think they're in great shape. Unless something extraordinary happens, I think they have locked this one up.
Yeah, they were fantastic there. So really, really impressive effort by those 3 women.
And next up, Adams, Gonzalez, and Lee.
Great to see Rosalind Lee back on the mat. Just very new mother,
Yeah, it's impressive.
and her husband is their coach right now. So that's great to see. Able to manage that transition to parenthood and still maintain training and stay involved and maintain everything at a high level. It's great.
So it's all coming down to this form right here for these ladies. They're going to have to do something extraordinary in order to overtake the team of Kathy Doe, Miss Wynn.
Looking really good.
They are looking good.
Confident, very stable.
And Claire Kim. Yeah, you're right. Very stable here. Just looking really solid.
Well, I think if they keep going like this, I hate to call it too early, but they should win this round. I guess the question will be whether they have a shot at invoking either a tiebreaker or making up ground. A little tip there, but shouldn't be more than a minor deduction. That's very strong. I think this, by a wide margin, is the strongest of the three. But I don't think it's enough to make up that deficit, which is pretty sizable. Yep, we see that they did win as expected. Oh, nope, they didn't.
They got
win.
second, barely.
They got second. Oh,
wow.
I see. A little surprising.
Yeah.
But regardless, excellent performance. And the standings will not change. I thought that was very, very strong finish by that team. I would have placed them first. In that round.
So that ends this round. So congratulations to the men, Kwon Jin Ha, Jin Hyuk Kim, and Johnny Nguyen. And on the women's side, Kathy Do, Tuo Nguyen, and Claire Kim. You are champions here on our team with a chance now to go compete for Team USA at the World Championships. This is a Poomsae Grand Slam. We're going to get a quick interview with the winners of these divisions, and we'll be right back here at the Poomsae Grand Slam presented by USA Taekwondo. Good. We're just finished the competition in the 30-plus men's and women's team division. Let's congratulate all these great competitors. Well done. Amazing competition, and Coach Tuong talked about how he thought it would be one of the tightest competitions we'd have all weekend, and he was dead on with it, as it was super close. But we want to bring out our men's and women's winners. In the men's, it's Kwon Jin Ha, Jin Hyuk Kim, and Johnny Nguyen. And on the women's side, we have Kathy Do, Tuo Nguyen, and Claire Kim. Since I know Johnny, I've got Johnny close, I'm going to go with you first. Tell us how it feels to make another Poomsae national team, and how does it feel to ultimately go compete for Team USA in Denmark later this year in the World Championships?
Yes, sir. I feel super excited that we came out on top. We had a little scare with the M team. You guys know the M team. It's like the dream team of Poomsae, so just to be here, congratulations, hats off to the M team. Can't wait to represent the U.S. In Denmark.
Yeah, it was amazing competition, very close. It's Claire, correct?
Yes, sir.
So Claire, I'm going to ask you the same question. You've been on national teams before, I know, a 5-time national team member. It's been a little while. How does it feel to go back and compete for your Team USA at the World Championships in Denmark?
You know, the wonderful thing about Poomsae is you can take a break and take care of life and come back, and I'm really excited to be here and represent the United States. I love competing with my girlfriends. Same with us. We had a really tough competition. A lot of former members, national team members, are on the other teams. So we decided to just do our best and represent our team as best as we can. So we're excited.
Yeah, super excited. So congratulations again. Let's say it one more time. These are the 30-plus men's and 30-plus women's team. This is Kwon Jin Ha, Jin Hyuk Kim, and Johnny Nguyen. And on the other side, we have Kathy Do, Tuo Nguyen, and Claire Kim. Congratulations to you ladies one more time. You men, one more time. That's going to end this session of the Poomsae Grand Slam Final. We're going to be back at 1:45 with our next session, so we appreciate all of you spectators for coming. We appreciate all you guys on the live stream for joining us. Don't go anywhere because we've got a 1:45 session come up. This is the Poomsae Grand Slam Final. I'm Jason Poos for USA Taekwondo. We'll see you shortly.